Well, unfortunately the old girl has sprung another problem. When I went to get in here this morning, as you can see, we have the ABS warning light, which is not great. Drove the car yesterday and everything was absolutely fine, but today when I started it up we have this. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is run ForScan and see if we can pull some codes from the OBD. So what we need to do is turn the ignition on and then connect the vehicle. And yeah, I want to do that. Yes. Okay. Right, so there's a few things in here. This smart generator, that's a fault code that's been there for a while. Something to do with the alternator not being able to do the smart charging. Doesn't affect the normal charging though, so I'm not too worried about that. This one is a bit strange. So we've had a crankshaft position sensor fault, which is odd. Open or grounded circuit. I'm not sure how long that's been there, but there's certainly no issues with the car running, so I'm going to try and just clear this and see if it comes back. Here we've got two ABS ones. This one is the one that I was expecting to see. So we've got a front left wheel sensor input circuit failure. So I must check the front left wheel position sensor and see if there's anything that I can see there. But we've also got another one here which says battery voltage low, which is interesting because I don't think I've had any flat battery problems, but yeah, again, not sure when this has crops up. And I've just noticed now that the radio was previously set to the correct date, but now it's reset to 020306. So something's happened, I think, at some point. The car did go in for MOT last week, so I'm not sure whether they disconnected the battery at some point. Not sure why they would have done that, but anyway. We've also got some instrument cluster problems here. Some sort of issue with connection here, and another one here for invalid engine RPM. So that's odd. Haven't had any trouble with the instrument cluster. It has already had the fix for the soldering, so I would not expect it to be giving trouble again so quickly. So I've saved this, and I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to clear this, and then I'm going to see which ones come back, and then we can go from there. Clearing the codes is pretty easy. You just basically click this reset DTC. Yes. Cycle the ignition off and then back on again. Okay. Okay, so immediately we've got this ABS one come back again. So this, I think, is the one that we need to look at. Front left wheel speed sensor. None of the others have come back as yet, but we'll see if they come back in time. I think some cats have been walking over my nice clean car. Never mind. Right, so this is the offending wheel, so we'll have to take that off and see if we can spot anything wrong with the sensor. Otherwise, we'll have to get a new one. Well, I think I've found the issue. So here is our wheel position sensor, and if we follow the cable, oh no, what has happened there? Something definitely has gone a bit wrong there. This also looks a bit bent here. I'm not sure how that's happened as well. So something a bit odd has happened here, and I'm not quite sure how. So we'll just try and straighten this up as well, because I don't really like how this is all bent as well. But we're going to have to try and replace this bit of cable here, which is not great because the clip is actually down here, and then it disappears up off into the bodywork here. So I'm going to try to find where that goes and try and find a suitable place to splice on a new cable. Thankfully, it's quite a simple cable. It's only got 2 wires in it. So I should be able to make a replacement quite easily for that. But yeah, I mean, it's good to know that the sensor itself is probably still okay. Just the cable itself has snapped. Put them back in. Okay. There we go. Well, with the arch liner removed, I must say I'm pretty impressed with how clean it is behind here. Really is not much corrosion at all, considering the age of the car, so that's good. The other good thing that I've seen is there is another connector up here at the top of this, so I can just change this wire, hopefully. Don't know whether I should just try and fashion my own fix, because otherwise I have to wait for a new replacement part, which is a bit annoying. I'm really a bit confused as to what's happened here, because it's quite a clean break. It's like it just snapped right off. And it actually looks like there's a bit missing, actually, because these two ends don't meet up. So it's some other bit has got missing as well. And the fact that this is also bent, I wonder whether something got up into this wheel well. Something flicked up there. I didn't notice anything when I was driving, but it's possible that, I don't know, a stick or something maybe got up in here and just caused a bit of damage. It's very odd. Another point is, inside here we have these, I don't know what these are for. I guess some sort of sound deadening. These were basically put up here into this wheel arch here. But the problem with these is they collect moisture along the edge, and then you end up with this problem, which you can see is happening here, where the bottom of the sill is just rusting away because it just is always damp. I've actually bought some replacement sills. I actually have them in the loft waiting to go on, already painted, which is nice. So I'm not bothered about this, but I am going to just take this out because, quite honestly, for a little bit of sound deadening, I would rather have sills that don't rust away to nothing. And this is a very common problem with these cars, and I think it is mostly caused by this. But you can just see how much dirt was just piled up inside here. And there's still more dirt in here, actually. Just sitting there, capturing moisture, which of course is the absolute worst thing that you want inside your bodywork. So yeah, those things, they can go and do one. It always amazes me how they come up with so many different designs for clips on these cars. Like every single one is different, and it's very irritating because you have to first go through the puzzle of trying to figure out how it actually functions before you can actually disconnect it. There we go. So here is the offending article. As you can see, that is rather butchered. Who knows how that happened? And that's the one side, and that's the other side. I have had a quick look online, and you can get replacement cables quite easily. So I am going to order one, but I think in the meantime, just so that I've got something to use in the meantime, I think I'm just going to make a little quick fix for this. It won't have to last forever, just enough to get me back on the road. Not that I can't drive the car without the ABS, but I would prefer to have the ABS working if possible. Okay, so I found some speaker cable. I'm just going to snip off the length of it, and then I'm going to go inside and splice these together. Right, so my plan of action is to essentially splice this little bit of cable somewhere between here and here, and I will use some shrink wrap just to protect it. It doesn't have to last that long, just really long enough that I can get the replacement and put that on instead. So here's my temporary solution. I'm just going to click that back into place. There we go. Let it just pop up there. And use the existing stuff to hold it in place. Right, so I've just made a split in that. I'm just going to wrap it around the cable. This is just a temporary solution, really. It just needs to last long enough until the new replacement one arrives. So I'm not too bothered about how good it is, but that should be fine, I think. There should be another rubber thing down here, but it's missing, so I'll just loop it through like that for now. What I'm going to do is just wrap a little bit of tape around the point where it goes through there. As I say, this is just a temporary solution, just to get my ABS working again in the meantime. Well, it's very janky, but I don't think it's going to go anyway, so that's good. Right, so before we do anything else, we need to just check the codes again. We've still got that currently, which I think is the old one. So let's clear that. Cycle the ignition off and then back on. No codes. Beautiful. Look at that. No ABS light. Right. Let's get this back in. Any help to protect the car from. There we go. I put a whole bunch of plus gas on these just to try and clean them up a little bit and hopefully stop them corroding too much more. So this little temporary fix will do for now until I can get a new part in there. But just as a bit of info, if you do have a similar fault and it's something to do with the ABS sensor, probably it's most likely to be the cable that's the problem, because they do have a lot of movement in them. But the actual sensor itself is also very, very easy to get off. It just has a single screw on the back of the hub there. So if the sensor itself is faulty, you can easily unscrew that, put a new one on, clip it in, and it's actually a pretty easy job. So if you do get the ABS light on your dashboard, you don't have to panic. Just the first thing to do is to read the codes and see where the problem actually is. And if it is one of the wheel sensors, then likely the problem is either the cable or the sensor, and they're both very easy to change. So hopefully that's helpful. Alright, so just took it for a quick drive, and braking is all good, no issues there. And the ABS light has not reappeared on the dashboard. So I think that will do for now, and then I'll go inside and order the replacement cable, and when that comes I'll just whip that on quickly. Not a very difficult job to do, so it should be easy enough. So yeah, there we go, another one solved.